Hey everyone, Pastor Paul Krampitz coming to you from Bethany Lutheran Church. I'm here in my study here on Court Street in Cromwell, Connecticut. And today I want to show you this. Those of you who are drummers or former percussionists know that this is a practice pad. And it's a device that allows you to practice playing the drums without actually having drums. So I keep one here in my study. I'll occasionally play on it while I'm on the computer. I have several practice pads at home too. And what's nice about the practice pad is that you can play I don't know if you can hear that coming through the mic, but you can strike it and it's much softer and quieter than if you were playing on an actual drum. It's important to practice. It's important for me as a drummer to practice daily so that the skills that I've developed during the over 50 years now that I've been playing drums don't degrade. I need to keep my hands limber. I need to learn new things. I need to be able to sight read music, so there's lots of reasons why I try to spend about an hour a day practicing drums. Practice is important. You know the expression, practice makes perfect. I've read that it takes 10,000 repetitions of a movement to develop muscle memory. Those of you that study martial arts probably understand this, that it takes a lot of time to get your muscles to work in a certain way that it becomes almost instinctive. Practice is all about discipline. Being disciplined enough to take the time to work on the things that are important for your craft or for your art. We don't think about that very much when it comes to being a Christian. Disciple has discipline as part of the word, right? In order to be a disciple, one must be disciplined. And I'd like to suggest today that it means practicing being a Christian. So what are the practices of faith? What are the disciplines that are important? You'll remember that Jesus said the most important commandment is really two commandments, loving God and loving neighbor. So it seems to flow naturally from that important practices would be prayer, studying the Bible, reading the Bible, learning more about God, communicating with God, nurturing our relationship with God in prayer, and then the things that have to do with our neighbor, caring for and loving our neighbor. How are we helping our neighbor? These are all disciplines. During the season of Lent, we often talk about Lenten disciplines, which is prayer, fasting, which is doing away with something as a way to grow spiritually. So some people give up some sort of a food, perhaps desserts or chocolate or alcoholic beverages. And Martin Luther actually thought that was a good thing, not a necessary thing. But if you found it meaningful and important to be able to not have something that you could have for the sake of growing spiritually stronger, he thought it was not a bad thing to do. In fact, during Lent, I will often give up desserts or something else, alcoholic beverages, for example. So fasting, penitence, coming before God in confession, prayer, and then also acts of charity, helping others. And that could be as simple as your offering to church, supporting the United Way, calling your neighbors or friends, lending a helping hand, perhaps during this time offering to go grocery shopping for someone, checking in just to make sure they're okay, sending a note. These are all ways that we not only help our neighbor, but we actually practice being a Christian. They are ways that we are following the footsteps of the disciples, loving God and loving one another. So I wonder what your practice sessions look like. I have my practice sessions on my drum pad. I also have practice sessions as I try to the best of my ability to live out my faith with a love that is active, that reaches out to God and to others. What are the disciplines that are important to you? How are you following them? I'd be interested to know. Until next time, this is Pastor Paul saying goodbye and God bless.